Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a review of Turkey Thursday. Yes, Turkey Thursday, episode 6. Now, last week was a very developmental stage for Nozomi, stepping up her plate, with her phone, using her phone as a development to symbolize her growth as what she is today, helping out, using her phone to guide her when she got lost, and that was her source to find her way home. Now, I want to talk about this episode because this episode was kind of deep, and episode 6 of Turkey has shown us a lot what's going on, especially with blood. Yes, there's so many blood in this episode to a point where there's so many twists that I didn't even see it coming, and so much so the object of this episode was one person's life, a life, taking a person's life. That's what the whole thing is. Now, I understand that this is the Shingoku period, and people are wondering, well, how does a sports anime gets this? Like, what makes this into a sports? Like, taking something, a concept like bowling, and put it in the Shingoku period. How did that even work? It does work from moments because it tells us, because bowling has some similarity traits to the Shingoku period. If you think about it, when you play bowling and you knock the pins down, you're taking down bandits. You see what I'm saying? There's certain aspects to a bowling that takes it to the time period of Shingoku period. And not only that, I know people don't think this show is kind of comparison, but it's kind of like Inuyasha. If you look at Inuyasha, Kagome goes to the feudal era. Does she change the course of past? Yeah, but still, it's the same thing. So I'm looking at this Turkey, and I'm like, it's the same thing, almost to a degree. Now, this episode is all about Sayuri, the green hair girl, the tall, kind green hair girl out of the four. Now, she does have her moment in this episode, her moment that also added a twist involving we see it. So, without further ado, let's get right to the review of this episode of Turkey, episode 6, before I go to work. Anyway, Turkey. You know, so the messenger told Suguri 5 days ago there was a beam of light, and she, I said she because that was a twist, and he had no idea. Now, now there was supposed to be a marriage thing going on. Sumomo was supposed to be married to someone else. Remember, this is Shingoku period. You have to marry to someone. You have to marry to keep the balance intact. So leave it. So Mai is not thrilled about this, and Sumomo wants her to express her feelings, not just here, take this person, you're married. Now, yeah, look. I like Mai, I really do. It's just she's interfering. She's messing up the Shingoku period. It's like I said, when you guys listen, guys, if you go in another timeline, you have to keep the timeline where it is at. You change something will affect the course of history, and it might change the present. It's gonna change the present or not, but still, you're changing it. Now, Sayuri. Sayuri, her first period, and the Shingoku period. Her first period in the Shingoku period. You see how kind of wrong that is? And the thing is, she can't use tissues because remember, back in those days, tissue was never invented. So it's hard for her to use tissue as a source for her thing. And I felt bad for her. I also feel bad because she got it in the Shingoku period. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like fucked up. Now, Suguri has dealt with that because secretly she's a woman. Now, here's where I got mind boggled by it. If we go back, the first time we saw Suguri, we all thought, and I thought, that I was just a prince. That was just Suguri-sama. Everyone saying he, and Nozomi has a crush on him. And I thought that was gonna be like, oh my God, this is like, for a guy to go in war and killing people, that was dope. That was dope. And then Nozomi has a crush on him. That was a little bit surprising to me as well. And then, and and the opening, matter of fact, the opening showed us with Sayuri and Sugumi, and I thought that was a ship. I mean, I thought it was a ship or there's some connection going on, maybe. But after watching that opening, after watching that scene where she revealed that she's a woman, that kind of like surprised me, guys, because I did not expect that. I did not know that she was a woman like that. Like that. Now that's a twist. See, I like twists like that. If it's the first anime I've watched and I see a twist like that, that right there is the epitome of like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. So her being a woman was kind of revealing and shocking because we found out in her backstory, like 10 years ago, her father wanted a guy. So she cut her hair because the population was mostly, because they've been giving birth to females. So as a result of that, the father wanted Suguri to cut her hair and make it feel like the guy. That's why Suguri got it all bandaged up, make it more like tight as the guys. Now, but Sayuri and Suguri had a bond. They have this bond about the women's thing because she experienced herself and blood and whatnot. So it's kind of natural to see these two bonding over the woman's nature, cure, their thing. So I get that. Also, I like how Nozomi just big head mode, just reacting to Suguri and Sayuri's and Sugumi's moment last night. But I got the feeling, listen. I know it's too early to say that. I know we're on episode 6, but I got a feeling. You think Nozomi is gonna find out later on? I think she's gonna find out next week. I think Nozomi is gonna realize, like, wait a minute, Suguri was a woman? I think that's gonna be the reaction, or Sayuri is gonna tell Nozomi. But I want to see Nozomi's reaction when she realized that's a woman. Maybe we're gonna go to that Yuri vibe. I don't know, but if it does, it does. Now, Sayuri is concerned about Sugumi when she goes out and going off these bandits. Now, this is where this episode gets a little deeper. This is where an episode gets a little deeper in thought. Despite its sports anime and bowling, despite the bowling, taking the person's life. You gotta understand, guys. You gotta understand. Taking the person's life does have its flaws. Yeah, it kills someone, but it affects the people around them. It affects the people around them. So we don't know. Like, it's like, how about this? You kill a person, but you don't know if that person has a kid, a lovely family, and all that stuff. You're just taking a person's life. That's what the argument for Suguri and Sayuri has. Because Sayuri was telling Sugumi, like, these bandits, these people in the village killing these people, these bandits. But she has to understand, this is the Sengoku era. There is no, like, second chances for bandits. Once you kill them, you killed them. Once you kill them, you killed them. That's the thing in that period. You see bandits stealing stuff, all that one, and killing people. You think you can get away with that in that period? Nope. You killed them. And that's what the big thing. That's what the big picture with this one. Suguri is making sure that no bandits get close to their family, their friends, and whatnot. Because if you let one bandit go, that bandit gonna bring in reinforcements, or he might do something very vicious. That's what Suguri is doing. But Sayuri's case is like, you're taking a person's life. She's always been a coward. This is the cowardly thing to do, all that stuff. But that same bandit came in and about to kill Suguri. Suguri to a point where they had that sword fight scene, that was good. And then leave it to Sayuri to use her. She didn't use a bowling ball, but she used a rock that's the size of a bowling ball. Distract the bandit the first time. And Sayuri, with my little confidence, saying about when it comes to bowling, use it as a second throw. Because remember, you gotta remember if you think about bowling, remember that knowledge kind of helped her because in bowling, let's say you hit a pins and you got like 5 pins left, you get a second chance. So for Sayuri to use as the second rock as a bowling ball and knock that guy out, like literally knock the guy out, that was fantastic. Now remember, this is the Shingoku period. You're gonna see some blood and you're gonna see some killing involved. And I like how Sayuri just turn around and not want to see the bloodshed. I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. You don't want to see people getting their head chopped off or seeing a person's life. I get that. It's very untouching for her to see, and I get that because you gotta understand, Sayuri is tall, kind. I won't say the muscle of the group, but she's more, and she's tall. I will say probably the kindest girl out of the five. She's the kindest girl out of the five, the way I see it, because it's like Mai is the leader, Sayuri is the kindest of the group. Nanase is the smart one of the group. Nozomi is all, I will say, for the blonde hair girl, I'll say Nozomi is more I won't say athletic, more of a strategic one. Well, she's not strategic, and I'll take that. Nozomi is more the finest one of the group, I don't know. And Rina, she's the muscle, the way I see it. But I like how Sayuri is kind of like turned around now, seeing her blush. She had her eyes closed, turned her head, and just seeing that. But, you know, she just don't want to see bloodshed. She don't want to see bloodshed. I mean, the first episode was like not the first episode she saw with the guy's head chopped off. That, I mean, in the second episode, that was like her head chopped, seeing a guy's head chopped off and all that. That was kind of like her. That was kind of like, oh my God. But seeing it, but now she see more of it. It's like she wants to get out of this era. But she gotta understand it. This is the Shingoku period. You gotta remember there are times when taking a person's life does not give a fuck in that era. Killing these people killing these bandits to keep the village safe. That was that time. And I get why Sayuri wants to go home. She can't deal with the bloodshed. I get it. And in Suguri's case, she understands where she's coming from. And the fact that Sayuri told Suguri that that they're from the future, they gotta understand, taking a person's life from the past and taking a person's life from the present are two different things. Two different things. But now that Suguri knows that they're from the future, I wonder how she will react. And by the way, not only we transcended from prince to princess. So now she's a princess. Can you imagine that? I mean, like I said, I hope Nozomi find out. But still, that's what the thing about this episode. It was taking it's kind of so personal, talking about taking a person's life from this era and this era that we're in. So it's kind of like, I see it. But there was a lot of blood in this episode, so much blood. But overall, though, this episode was amazing. It just showed, we see Sayuri at her moment using a rock as a bowling ball and revealing that Suguri's a woman. So I think every episode of Turkey, everyone's gonna have an episode of their own. So next week is gonna be Nanase's episode, the smart one of the group. We'll see her backstory as well in terms of where she's going through, and hopefully the revealing of her being a woman, Suguri being a woman, will be something that everybody's going to get reacted. But again, I did not see that coming. So thank you for watching my review of this episode 6 of Turkey. Next week is going to be a rough week for me. Anime NYC is next week, everyone. I look forward to it, my hot takes and all that. So get ready.